You are making your way through the city of Uppsala. It is bitterly cold, and the wind howls through the streets. The Fire's River has frozen, and you pass by children skating and laughing happily. You, however, are on your way to the Uppsala Asylum. You received a letter, barely legible and written in a shaky hand, from Linnea Elficlint, the woman who encouraged you to reform the society. She requested you come to see her and said it was of the utmost urgency.
I would be very grateful if you would visit me at the hospital at your earliest convenience, where I have had to readmit myself following a particularly difficult period. It is a matter of great urgency, and I must ask you that you prepare for a longer journey. Yours truly. I admit the hand is somewhat scratchy.
Elvon, who knows Swedish perhaps a bit better, can see that it does say Linnea.
So this letter, what does that look like to you?
It looks like it was written on not particularly expensive paper, possibly available at the hospital in question. It is rather faint, almost like written with a pencil rather than ink.
The alphabet type of letter.
It certainly has letters. It would not be a correspondence if it did not.
I suggest you check yourself in alongside her. And it was Linnea.
Oh, that's an L.
Yes, there was no R at all. Anyway,
And he holds the letter up to the light, trying to get a better view at it. I thought she said that she wanted no more to do with the order and that she was more than happy to have passed it off into our prevalence, and it did not really ever want to be something that she was troubled with again.
well, when have things been easy for us?
This is the lady in question that was having a particularly hard time dying. Is that correct? You have given her the somewhat last rites multiple times.
More than her fair few. More than anybody's fair few.
What could be a particularly difficult period for someone who gets their last rites on more than one occasion?
Perhaps not getting the last rites?
Is that what we're here for? Is she a malingerer of life?
Don't know yet. We'll have to find out.
Used to some cold winters in Washington, but I have to say Sweden has made a particularly gutsy attempt at being cold.
Was it not to your liking?
I would prefer a somewhat warmer climate.
And you chose Sweden?
Well, it is an interesting place with beautiful people, but I'm concerned that some of these statues that we have passed may not have been statues at all, and rather some of your frozen countrymen locked in place.
I didn't see that one last time it came through.
You see what I mean?
I mean, if it melts, it'll be fine, right?
Well, the children did seem to have fun skating, regardless of what had been happening to their parents.
As you make your way, you notice that the asylum seems especially foreboding in the dark winter afternoon. You are led inside and to a small room where Linnea is propped up in a bed, looking pale and very tired. She holds a letter in her hands. The nurse who showed you in regards you sternly as you enter. We didn't think visitors were a good idea at the moment, but she insisted. However, if you upset her, I shall have to insist that you leave.
Sorry, Swedish, not great.
She looks to Alvon.
You act like this is my first time here.
Oh, no, I recognize you. I am simply saying that Miss Elphiclint is in a particularly excitable state.
We will be on our best behavior. We mean no harm.
And she steps out of the doorway, allowing you to enter.
And he enters and takes off his hat.
There's some chairs if you do want to sit, because presumably doctors or nurses may sometimes sit if they're in here for long periods of time. They'll just want to stand over a bed forever. So there are places to sit if you wish.
He will pull up a chair and sit down.
I hope this isn't about your last rites again.
She looks at you almost confused and shakes her head. No, no. I have received a letter from someone that I have not seen for 20 years. And it seems as though she rather urgently needs help.
And I suppose you're requesting that we provide that aid?
I do not know who else to ask. It is a complicated situation, you see. She was a member of the society until 20 years ago.
Why did she leave?
She looks at you and then seems to look especially thoughtfully at Alvan. She left for reasons that I have reason to believe present company would take issue with.
Would you like me to give you the room?
I'm sure that is not necessary. If you indeed agree to help her, I'm sure you will see what I mean. I simply do not wish to turn you against her before I have even pled my case.
Very reassuring.
I may not agree with the decisions that she has made in life, but we were friends. We were good friends. And it sounds to me she is now in danger. And she looks at the letter she's holding and then holds it out to.
And he opens it and flicks the paper till it opens properly. Then he holds it. You barely remember me, do you? The years have fluttered by like butterflies, and I shall soon turn 70. But who is counting? Obviously she is, as she's aware of her age. I wish the purpose of this letter was to renew our special connection, which I have missed dearly, and that I would like to see you to discuss the strange events that occurred at my place here. I've never got this name right. You will, being a native, will have to enlighten me on it. I will show you in a minute. Many years ago, Gillenkreutz. Is that correct? Are we at Gillenkreutz? I struggle with this one. And though this is also true, I write to you regarding another matter. I need your help. The situation is very dire indeed, or I would not have had the nerve to contact you. I assume that you are still living in Uppsala. Surely you have not abandoned our beloved city. Anyway, I am currently located in Mole. Do you know where that is?
I know the name, and I would be able to point it out on a map, but I do not know its exact location.
Well, it appears to be in the south, a small fishing village. My friends, as in her, and I are staying at a seaside hotel there. You must come and help us. I can tell you no more than that, for fear that someone else might read this letter. That it must be you, of all people, that has to do with our special secret. Our way of seeing things which brought us together all those years ago. Bring all the weapons, tools, and strange items you can find. Anything might prove useful. Until then, my friends and I are stuck at the hotel. This is a mess of our own making, but nevertheless, despite everything, I ask for your help. Oggo.
Olga. That was a nickname.
I see. It's quite long, but purposely vague.
In case the letter was intercepted.
If it was intercepted, it would still say where they are located and hints at something. It would not have been of great aid to those who would have intercepted it. In what it really has done for us is it is no great aid for us. Its vagueness is most unhelpful.
It tells you where they are and that it is something to do with Vaesen.
Agree. Which is why, as that is already clear, a bit more useful information would have been, well, useful.
I cannot tell you what was in Olga's mind when she wrote the letter. As I said, I have not spoken to her for 20 years.
And he folds the letter and hands it back to the priest. What would you like to do, Father?
I do not mind providing aid, but I am not prepared for a fight. I swore an oath. And the letter also requests you.
Only in that I am the last surviving person she knows that has the sight.
This is a mess of our own making. What could that have alluded to?
I would take it to mean she has been dabbling with things she should not.
I hope you do not mean the demonic kind.
You would have to ask Olga.
He'll look at the detective. I do not know how much use will be, but I do not mind going.
More use than I would, I assure you.
Our resources are not endless.
Which resources specifically?
Well, money.
Ah. That is not a problem if you will agree to go, will you?
I'm not saying so as a mercenary. I want you to understand. It's more a case of reality.
No, I did not take it that way, but I ask again, are you agreeing to go?
If the good Padre is willing to look into this matter, I am willing to go with him.
Wonderful, because I have already replied to Olga's letter.
So you replied and then decided that you should seek for aid?
Oh, no, I replied telling her that you would aid her.
So you threw us under the carriage. I appreciate that.
I have purchased tickets for the both of you. I have instructed Olga to meet you and also to arrange for food and lodging.
Very well.
Is there anything else that you need from me?
Nope. I suppose we shouldn't keep her waiting then.
Well, she shall have to wait a while longer. You will need to travel by train. It will be a full day's journey. And you leave tomorrow. Early. She hands you 2 train tickets.
Priest will sigh. Best be on our way then?
You have some time if you need to prepare. If you do not know much about the area, you may wish to research it. See if anyone else in the society has ever been there. There should be a record if they have.
I will need to get my gear, yeah.
Well, if I do anything else for you, please let me know.
Suppose we should return to the castle then.
How do you wish to prepare?
Dixon will get his travel bag and his gun and stuff like that, but he would like to research Olga. If there's anything in the documents of previous members.
You find her name on lists. It stops appearing on lists of current members 20 years ago. There are reports made by her, perhaps, of having been to various investigating things, but there's not. The society didn't really keep reports on its members.
I would like to research anything, like any demonic things that have happened in that village or stuff like that.
Interesting. Give me a second.
Alvan will note this.
Alvan will note this. All right.
Is there anything interesting about the town?
Looking through books in the library for information on this town, you only find sporadic references. Alvan sort of found the main thing that the society actually noted about this town. Anything else just mentions a small fishing village. However, your eye is caught by the word mole, the name of the town, not in a book, but on the front page of an old newspaper. Not very old, months old, not years old. It is from earlier this year, and it is simply lying in the clutter of things. You don't know if the caretaker was using it to put down to prevent dust from falling. You don't know why it's here, but
Alright, well, that was my gun last one.
I don't think I did one last time.
Say that I'm studying the town enough to either give me a bonus to vigilance in that town or knowledge.
I will let you pick of those, which you prefer.
I'd prefer investigation. But
All
I can
right, then
take
you
either.
may have it.
Okay.
I was actually gonna go for the same thing. I wanted to do, like, look at maps of this town, but
Sure. I mean, there's nothing saying you can't do the same thing as each other, just that you can't do the same thing as you did last mystery.
I think observation, because I think that makes more sense, kind of, to
'Kay.
understand it.
I shall say you can definitely do that.
Getting up, getting organized, and then he will, when we're ready, leave for the station.
You've woken up in the morning. You're ready to go, and Linnea did help plan your trip, and she bought you the tickets with her own money. She told you that she has written to Olga and told her to meet you in Molde. Early in the morning, you two head to the Uppsala train station. The darkness lies heavy on the city, but the snow reflects the light from the station's gas lamps and illuminates the area around you. When the train rolls in, its cars are covered in snow, and upon boarding, you find that the compartments are not even heated. The only refuge from the cold is the dining car, and virtually all the passengers gather there. A count by the name of Christian Granath purchases the train's entire stock of punch and generously offers it free of charge. After a couple of hours, the mood turns merry. Someone takes out an accordion and people spontaneously start to dance between the tables, until the conductor has finally had enough and silences the car by dropping a silver platter on the floor and announcing that music may only be played in the rear cars, where the animals are kept.
Dixon will just sit quietly, trying to keep warm, and just consider the mission ahead.
And time continues on. In the afternoon, your train has reached the town of Helsingborg in southern Sweden. It is already getting dark, and there is a sleepy atmosphere in the dining car. After disembarking at the Helsingborg train station, you learn that your connection to the next stop, Hognas, is more than an hour late. You pass the time wandering through the empty streets of the city. Freezing gales sweep in from the sea and make their way through your clothes. Once you finally get moving, you are more than a little late. An old steam locomotive pulls the cars along the coast, up the slopes of the hill, and finally arrives in Höganäs. From here, you travel by stagecoach through this spectacular landscape, which you can barely glimpse through the impenetrable darkness. Now, you are on the final leg of your journey, traveling by stagecoach to your final destination, the town of Mola.
I did find something interesting about the town.
And that is?
There's a folk tale about how the hill creates this supernatural energy, and how the caves, ravines of it, can possess humans and creatures. Their investigation found no evidence, but they did note that there was a abnormal amount of just strange happenings. They suggested setting up a small headquarters to investigate further.
Did they?
It seems that they never got around to it, which is unfortunate for us. I feel like that could have and would have aided us severely.
Apparently, the place that we're gonna be staying at has a somewhat disreputable reputation.
Oh, wonderful.
Think you might have hit that punch a little heavy, Father.
It was free.
Spoken like a true priest.
You reach the station south of Mullet, tired, hungry, and cold. And very late. The coachman drops you off at a place marked with a black painted post. Olga, who you were told should be meeting you there, is nowhere to be seen, and soon your clothes are covered by the falling snow.
Is it any surprising that a 70-year-old grandma would not be out in this?
I did tell you there was a lot of strange occurrences.
That appears strange to you. He throws his duffel bag over his back and heads out of the station and starts moving in the direction where he knows the hotel is meant to be located.
All right, you're just walking sort of towards the actual village because you're not quite in the village yet. The stagecoach stop is a bit outside of the village. All right. So you grab your luggage and you start a rather cold and unpleasant trek towards the village itself. You have only walked for a few minutes, however, when something catches your eye in the darkness ahead. A flickering light. It looks almost like a lantern, however, it is not at a height that it would be if someone walking towards you holding a lantern. Instead, it seems to be on the ground, not being carried.
Head towards it.
Elvon will. The weird, mysterious lantern.
As you draw closer, you see that it is indeed an oil lantern, which seems to have almost fallen to the ground. It's inside. The light is flickering. It's growing dimmer, but it was still enough to catch your eye. It doesn't hold your attention for very long, however, because a few feet beyond the lantern lies a body. You can tell, you think, the body has been, well, mutilated isn't quite the right word because to imply more intent between the rolled out and appear to have been partially, yeah, like that, really. Seeing, I actually need everyone to make a fear test, so.
Holy shit! 7 dice and almost all of them are ones.
Oh dear.
One success.
That was all you needed. However, Alvon did not get any.
Wait, can I push it?
Yeah, if you want to, you just have to take a condition if you push it.
Okay.
Oh,
2
all right.
success.
You're no longer frightened, but you may choose the condition that you wish to take.
Just exhausted. With the trek of the snow and then the clash from the nice
Yes,
cabin.
that's very fair.
That.
Dix, having been a soldier, has not necessarily defense against the cold, but he's definitely been on winter duty where they didn't have the best or most warmest of areas to be in. So he's somewhat familiar with it, and also having participated in the war, horrific wounds are something that he is familiar with. While it doesn't necessarily make it easier on his soul, he can go into a more analytic sort of state of mind, and he starts initially looking around for tracks of any sort.
Okay, if you are going to investigate this scene, please make an investigation test. Oh, you did it. Okay, nice. You needed to.
So Dixon puts his bag down and then initially circles the area a little bit before returning to where the lamp is. He then bends down and examines the body. Looking at the cut, it is clear from the get-go that she is dead, so he's not showing any signs of trying to ascertain that or resuscitate or anything like that. It is obvious that she is gone. And after a few minutes, he will look up at the father. There's no tracks that I could see. The snow is quite possibly covering it. It's coming down fast enough to make that problematic. The body's still warm. This is not an old event. The cut's rather jagged and somewhat irregular. The strength required is considerable, and there's signs of the body being eaten, consumed.
He'll take a sip from his flask before offering it to you.
And Dixon doesn't usually drink on the job, but he will take a swig before handing it back.
Doesn't get easier, does it?
No, sir, it doesn't. I've seen more than my fair share of death during the war, and we seem to be coming across it on a semi-regular basis in our current profession.
Things can never be easy.
I agree. I'm assuming the age of this woman is around between maybe 69 and 71?
Yeah, it's just about. She does look to be a rather elderly woman.
Kind of reminds me of an Olga.
I agree. Well, I suppose we should try to find this inn so that we can contact the local constabulary.
I believe that is a good idea.
Okay. So you're looking for the seaside hotel?
Unless we are passing a police station first, in which case we would go there.
You do not see any police stations. It is very stressful walk. You're not sure whether you're overreacting because of what you found, but you keep hearing things. Footsteps in the snow or cracking branches. None of it seem to be something as big as you think whatever did this would have to be. And for the most part, you can brush it aside as foxes or other animals. Maybe someone in the woods. Sometimes you think you hear footsteps, but there is a very uncomfortable feeling as you continue walking.
Keep our eyes peeled and
All right.
keep moving, trying to get to our destination in one piece.
And you do come to the village itself. Mola is a small village. Most buildings seem to be constructed in a sort of semicircle around the harbor, which makes sense as it being a fishing village. You understand that most of the trade is probably focused around the water, and what isn't in the fishing trade is quite possibly tourism, as you understand from the article that you found. To the west of the village, you see the land actually begins to slope upward and forms high cliffs. A couple lights are sort of dotted across it. You take it there are homes on the higher ground as well. And at the very highest point, you see a fairly bright light. It looks as though a lighthouse sits at the very top of this hill. It is in the north part of the village that you find what you assume must be the seaside hotel, because it is a very new building compared to everything else. It is also 3 stories high, made of white wood with intricate gingerbread detailing, and has red roof tiles. A large porch that would presumably have a wonderful view of the sea, although it's a little dark right now to tell that, would probably be crowded with visitors during the tourist season, but now sits empty except for snow. Do you believe that you have found the Mola Seaside Hotel?
Gingerbread.
Refers to a type of decorative wooden thing on houses, although, yes.
Why is it called gingerbread if it's in cookies? You don't make gingerbread, you make ginger cookies. And it's not even like it's literally just like ginger cookies, essentially. Just ginger cookies with a lot of sugar. It's a very interesting name. It should be called ginger cookie, because that makes a lot more sense. Because that's what they are. On the houses, no, but on the cookies, it makes more sense. Because it's a ginger cookie. Just with a lot of like cinnamon and sugar. Not really cinnamon, but sugar.
And as we're approaching the hotel, I had never realized before now just how much of a connoisseur you were of the cookies of the ginger, my religious friend.
I used to do a lot of baking.
I never would have thought that about you.
Small bakery just outside of the town. It's been closed for ages now.
We might have to do something about that at some point.
The hotel that you walk into is large. I mean, you could see that from the outside. And it clearly normally housed many more people, but currently stands mainly empty. The main floor does not seem to have any rooms for guests to sleep in, but has a small library, a lounge, which maybe confusingly has several easels with paintings set up in it, and a dining room. A small group of people sits in the dining room eating.
He will walk in and look for someone of a staff persuasion.
You don't see anyone who looks to be staff at the moment, just people sitting and eating.
He will go up to the main desk.
There isn't exactly. I mean, there may be a desk in sort of the lobby area, but no one's at it.
Is there a bell?
No. The only people you see are people sitting and eating at this table.
He will still walk over to the desk and drop his bag down and lean against it.
All right. People continue eating in the dining room, and after a little while, you see a youngish woman come out of the kitchen. She's looking a little frazzled and carrying several plates of food, and she places them down on the table. She then seems to notice that you are standing there, and she says a few words to the guests who are eating and rushes over and steps behind the desk that you have stood yourselves in front of and says, sorry, can I help you?
I believe we are expected.
Expected by who?
Olga.
Olga. Yes, we have a guest by that name staying here. She's here with her friends. She's expecting you? I don't think she's here at the moment. She went out about an hour ago, said she was meeting people at the station.
Yes, that would have been us. We did find her on the road back, deceased.
What? What?
As in no longer alive.
Cut in two from about here. Entrails not inside.
What? What do you mean? That's terrible.
Yes, it is. Do you have a police?
Uh, no. We don't. I will arrange. We'll have to send to the next town over. We don't have our own constable. Give me a moment. And she rushes back away from the desk, and you see her go back into the kitchen. You assume that she came from because she was carrying food, but from how the hotel's set up, you assume it could also just lead to past the kitchen, more of a staff area. It's a few moments before she's still looking extremely frazzled. More so since you told her you'd found a guest deceased on the road. And she says, we're, well, we'll be sending for the constable. He'll arrive tomorrow, I suppose. Where was she? What happened?
We're not entirely sure, but whoever you send, tell them to be careful. Whatever did it is still out there.
Whatever? Do you think it was an animal?
It required great strength. You do not open someone from rib to hip. It's not an easy thing to do.
She's growing paler by the second as you describe the state of the body.
You sound very innocent right now.
I have seen similar wounds during the war caused by artillery, shrapnel, and the like.
So you're saying someone shot her?
No, bullets leave holes. They don't cut you open.
I don't understand.
Neither do we just yet, but we intend to. She had summoned us to help her in an investigation that she was conducting. She was asking for our help.
I wouldn't know anything about that. Investigation. She's an artist. Her and her friends, they any visitors. It's the off season. Olga, she came a few months ago when it was busier, but she returned last month with 3 friends. They said it was better for painting, quieter. They're artists, investigators.
And he will glance at the Padre before looking back to her. We will require rooms.
So we have plenty available.
I would like to freshen up, if I may. Do you have coffee?
Yes, coffee. We have food. Um, I can get coffee. Sorry, I suppose I need to check you in. What are your names?
My name is Dixon.
Elvon.
She scribbles some things down and she hands you uh two keys. I am sorry. I I assure you, normally the service is better. We're short staffed during the off season, but the owner's been, well, she's missing, and we're doing the best we can.
See.
And she sort of back to the kitchen since you had requested coffee.
I'm really wondering what the society did, because for having an investigation finding nothing, we have found quite a lot in our 10-minute stay.
I
To be
think
fair,
part
the
of the
report was like 30 years ago.
I think part of the problem is the society itself was a collection of interested individuals rather than a formal training organization. It's going to vary wildly on the quality of the people involved. I will return in a few minutes, my good Padre. I am going to check out my room and freshen up a little bit after the journey and change my clothes. And he will head up to his room, unpack, but he's also going to check things like if it's got a window, he's going to check how secured the lock is, things like that.
The key to is on the 2nd floor, but you do see stairs continuing up. So there is a 3rd floor as well. The room does indeed have a window. It seems secure enough. The building is newer, but you can check. You don't think it's the sort of thing that, I mean, obviously someone could smash it, but you can't. So it's not like someone's just going to open it in the night. And you are on the 2nd floor, so they'd have to climb up anyway.
Yep.
The room is pretty nice. It's a lot nicer than a lot of the sort of small inns you've stayed. You know that this is a sort of luxury hotel that a lot of the rich and famous to come spend their time at. The room itself is actually not more of a suite bedroom, but there's also a sort of sitting room area as well.
And he will get changed and then head back down.
He would have got a seat and a drink.
Okay. What would he like to drink?
You know, this Christmas spirit, he'll have a hot. I was gonna say cocoa chocolate, but I was like, that is neither of them.
A hot cocoa
A hot
chocolate.
chocolate.
Hot chocolate. All right. And the dining room is a lot warmer than little lobby area was. This building is. You get the idea that they probably don't heat the whole building during this. Every other person at the table right now is German. You pick up just from listening to them. You can have your hot chocolate, and eventually it sounds.
Dixon will return.
And even more sort of frantic-looking young woman.
And he will take it happily and drink. I would not say no to some food.
Certainly, Princess. I can ask the kitchen.
It is late. Anything light would be fine.
She nods, and a few minutes later she returns with sort of a plate variety of sandwiches. It seems like they just kind of took what they had, and a sandwich assortment is placed before you.
He will eat quietly.
And as she sits down in front of you, she says, "I'm sorry, I don't mean to pry, but you said you were investigators?"
That is correct. He is indeed a priest as well.
Yes. What are you here to investigate?
We're not entirely sure, to be honest. An acquaintance of ours who was a dear friend of Olga's had received some correspondence from her asking for assistance. And as she knew it was within the purview of our training and understanding, she asked if we would come, and here we are, only to find poor Olga brutally deceased.
I see. I wondered if you might have been here looking for Lena, but I suppose not.
Well, at this point, I cannot be entirely sure that one is not connected to the other.
What do you mean?
Oh, I have not enough information to make any formal hypothesis, only the fact that you have one missing person and one dead.
I mean, yes, she's missing, but look, I don't. She looks sort of at the other guests who are continuing to chat happily in German and eat their food. Look, it's not good to assume, but well, Katarina's been gone for 10 days. She's probably dead, but I think she fell down a ravine. She went looking for her dog, and she was on the hill. Came back, and the search parties didn't find anything, but they didn't find a ripped apart body either, so she probably is dead, but I don't think that.
Not making any inference that she was the cause of Olga's demise, or that she had met the same fate. I am merely saying there is two occurrences at this moment. They may or may not be connected.
I don't know what's happening.
We will look into her disappearance as much as we can.
This is her hotel. She runs it. We're trying to make it work, but I have no idea what we're going to do. And then you say Olga's dead. Her friends are still here. Someone will need to tell them.
Well, we will need to talk to them anyway. They would have been, I would be surprised if they were unaware of her sending for us.
I wouldn't know. They're unusual, I suppose. Artists are, well, they can be. They've seemed very nervous over the past 10 days, ever since Katarina was gone. They haven't really left the hotel since then, and they all moved into one suite. They had their own originally, but they all moved into Olga's. And they haven't come down for meals. They ask that food be brought up, and
I see. I do not mean to pry into your affairs. The German guests, they're just unrelated?
I don't know. We don't get a lot of visitors in our off season, but sometimes guests from Germany or Denmark who were unable to book rooms during the summer, they've come later on. We always have a few people staying. We're never completely closed. It's not odd.
Miss Katarina, she is, I am assuming, well versed in the geography of this area. She would not walk off cliffs or the like. She knows where they are.
I suppose she's been here for a few years, ever since she came here and built the hotel, but the hill, it's even people who've lived here their whole lives can get lost on the hill. I told her not to go, but that dog, she would have done anything for that dog.
And you said the dog returned.
No, I haven't seen the dog since.
So both have remained missing.
Yes. Her dog, Costa, the day before she went missing, he disappeared. It was odd. He wasn't the sort of dog that would wander. He was very spoiled, I suppose. A poodle. She doted on him. The only thing she really seemed to love in this world, I suppose. She went looking. She insisted, and she never came back. And I can't say everyone in the village will be devastated by that.
I had indeed read a newspaper article sometime. The reputation of the hotel was not always to everyone's liking.
Laughs a bit. It seems a little sort of frantic. She's still in a quite a state over everything, but she says, I know exactly the article you're talking about. They interviewed my mother for that.
She had a somewhat dim view of what you do here.
Oh, she's never forgiven me for leaving home and getting a job here, but well, I needed to leave.
I understand.
Look, Katerina was not an easy woman to work for, but if she is alive, if you can find her, we don't know what to do without her here.
Why do you say she was not an easy woman to work for?
Headstrong, didn't care what anyone said, didn't care for anyone but her dog.
That is a rather unusual kind of personality that runs a hotel. My understanding of hotels that I have seen over the years is they tend to have rather personable people that work for them that like other people. They go into this because they enjoy the company and being of service.
Oh, she could pretend well enough to the customers, but that just wasn't who she was.
I see.
The the artists, they are a rather odd group. It's rather late. I don't know if they'll still be up. You could probably speak to them tomorrow.
That
The
would be
only thing I
fine.
can say is that you can see their art in the lounge. I well, I suppose people have different tastes.
I will do so. Thank you.
She nods a little distractedly, and then you see some of the other guests are calling her over, and she hurries over to attend to whatever it is that they need.
I don't know how much we can do,
And we don't have enough information at this time.
but if they went into the ravine that with the spiritual energy and that is to be believed, I don't know what we can do.
Well, we need to talk to her associates, that's for sure. One thing at a time, Padre, one thing at a time. And he will head to the lobby to look at the art and take his coffee with him.
There are a number of easels set up in the lounge on which sit some oil paintings. Now, it is true that everyone has different taste, but looking at these, you don't really see how anyone would think they were good paintings. It doesn't seem to be that they are simple stylistically as a purposeful thing. It looks as though whoever painted them really just doesn't know what they're doing, and they're more comparable to maybe a child's drawing than anything you would expect to see from a self-proclaimed artist.
What do you make of this?
Well, if I had to guess, I would say drunk German, but that's not what she said, now did she?
They would have to be using that they're an artist as a cover,
Cover for what, though?
not being an artist. I try not to critique other people's work. It can sometimes be rude, but I am having some difficulty when I look upon what is upon these canvases as being anything that would be produced by those who possess the talent.
You think they're largely supposed to be seascapes? Probably, although more than one have some blobs that are maybe supposed to be seagulls, but look equally as though they could be cows. It's just a little baffling.
I'm struggling a little bit. Is this an impressionist idea of an exploded cow, or is it Paris at sunset?
I thought it was a seagull, but
See that. However, the fact that they are now all residing in that lady's room, they're not leaving, it is all rather suspicious.
it's quite strange.
Let us see what tomorrow brings. They will have to talk to us then.
You each have your own room. They are quite comfortable, and nothing occurs throughout the night. You wake up the next morning.
Does he know what room is theirs?
You didn't ask, but you definitely could. You get the sense that the woman you were speaking to, she probably would tell you, since you have a good enough reason to want to speak to them to alert them of the death of their friend, and she doesn't really want to do that. So
He will just write a note. Olga is dead. We, when you're ready to talk, we are in the dining room, and put it under their door.
Hey, and then you just go, wait,
Yep, he's going to go down to get coffee. So, and
okay.
see if that brings him out of their room.
Maybe an hour after you put a note under the door, three unusual looking individuals make their way into the dining room. Three women, dressed entirely in black, make their way rather hesitantly into the dining room, and they are quite a varied looking group. The woman who appears to be the youngest is very small. She's quite short and has short blonde hair, and she looks the most nervous out of anyone. There's an older, maybe middle-aged woman who's very heavy set and has a huge brimmed hat on that she sort of got to one side at an interesting angle. And then a woman who looks maybe around the same age that Olga was, who's very thin and pale, but they're all dressed in very extravagant clothing, all in black. And they around the dining room.
Yes, the priest is sitting there.
Okay.
He'll be drinking a tea instead of a coffee, though.
They seem to sort of hone in on you, perhaps because you haven't been here before, and they may have seen everyone else here already, but not the two of you standing off to one side and not actually approaching anyone.
He will tip his coffee towards them, raise his mug.
They turn and look at each other and have a sort of hushed conversation that you cannot overhear. And then rather reluctantly, perhaps, they will walk over to where the two of you are sitting.
And he will stand, and if he needs to, he will pull another chair over.
We'll look at each other again and then sit. And the oldest woman, who has a pretty hoarse voice, says, I take it that you left that note for us to find.
I did, yes.
Is that really true? The youngest woman pipes up. She's not really dead.
Yes, she is deceased. Deliberate, and I am afraid brutal.
They again exchange looks. And the one who hasn't spoken yet, she says, well, what do you want to talk to us about it for?
You came here with Olga. On top of that, she had written to a friend asking for immediate, urgent, and dramatic assistance.
Ah,
We were dispatched.
you don't look anything like the Lily she kept talking about.
No, Lily is... She is quite long in the innings. The journey would not have been easy for her, as it also hinted at Vaesen. We were more qualified.
We certainly to her death, so I'm afraid there's nothing we can do to help you.
Well, you're not artists, that much is clear.
Yes, we are.
Well, I guess it depends upon the term. One would usually assume that those who make a living as artists would have some talent. I do not mean to be rude. I truly do not. But as a cover for whatever it is that you are doing, artist is not a very believable one.
I'm afraid that you simply...
Olga had said this entire mess was of your own doing.
Well, I certainly don't know what Olga would have written to her friend Lily, so we again cannot help you.
Well, there, I can help you. I can tell you exactly what she wrote.
I mean, you can tell us, but I certainly wouldn't know what she meant. Or even if it was true. Only Olga would know why Olga wrote something. The younger woman chimes back in. Look, you may not mean to be insulting, but it's clear that you simply do not understand the modern direction that art is taking. It's a new style.
Dixon looks at the priest as he's not sure how to get them to talk by arguing the merits or lack of their particular style. And he's not sure how to approach this in a different way.
They look at you very doubtfully. They look at you very doubtfully. And the youngest woman repeats, I'm sorry if you don't like our art, but that doesn't mean we know anything about Olga's death.
So you expect me to believe that 4, now 3 people came here, requested aid, and are just artists?
Well, like we said, the sort of middle-aged woman chimes in. We certainly couldn't explain why Olga would write asking for help. We are not Olga.
But you're all staying together, were you not?
Yes.
And not anything, there's nothing you could think of to cause her to write such a panic-filled message.
I know she missed her old friend. Perhaps she was trying to a reunion under unusual circumstances. I will give you for the one success. Like 100%, you know they're lying. They are not convinced that they should stop lying. You.
And I suppose we should take the next train out of here. And if any more deaths happens, they're on your hands.
Oh, I suppose you could, but I heard from Lisa that you were the ones who discovered the body. Is that true?
He'd like to get back. We merely just came through the night. We couldn't see anything. It was
Oh.
quite a dim night, you know.
Well, I suppose Lisa may have been mistaken. However, if she wasn't, you would certainly need to speak to the constable who's arrived in town this morning before leaving. I imagine they wouldn't be pleased if you just up and left.
As I said, it wasn't me.
As I said, I suppose Lisa could have been mistaken, but if she wasn't, the older woman is looking at Dixon. You said her death was brutal? In what way?
She was opened up and partly eaten.
They exchange another look, and then she sort of nods. I see.
Well, let's just give our statement to the constable and head back home. The person we came here to talk to is dead. They won't want to say anything. Let's go. You know, let's ditch this place.
So, the young woman that you were talking to the night before comes over to speak with you. She looks a little confused to see the 3 women there. She did tell you that they've been staying in the room. But she says, I suppose it's good you're all here. It sounds like the constable has arrived in town. He's not here. He's in the inn. She looks to the 2 of you. That might sound confusing. This is the hotel, but there's also an inn that has been in the village for a long time before this building was ever built. It's where locals tend to stay. They don't stay here. He is there. He is requesting to speak to, well, everyone who knows anything. So, as you 2 found Olga, I suppose he'd like to speak with you. And as you 3, well, her friends, he'd like to speak to you as well. You don't all need to go at the same time. I think he's sort of seeing people as groups. So, I don't know. Whoever wants to head over first, and then the others can go after.
I have a couple more questions, but I would like to get my notes. There's something I would like to get straight in my head first, if you will give me a moment. And he will stand and start heading upstairs.
And she says, "Oh, yes, I'm sure." And then she looks at the 3 women. In that case, I suppose he'd need to see you first. I don't know if you've been to the inn, but one of the caretakers, he can show you there. And they seem like they want to protest, but can't really think of a great reason. And so they are ushered off to speak to a constable.
And Dixon will usher off to their room.
Is their room. Perfect.
I have lockpicks.
Cool. Stealth roll.
1 success.
Okay, that is all that you need. So,
Dixon will open a leather pouch, take out some lockpicks. He will kneel down and start clicking till he hears a click, and then he will put it away and open the door, step through, and close it behind him.
Like your room, this is actually not a single room, but a suite. So there is a sort of sitting room almost. That is what you walk into first. In here, you see a bookshelf. It has maybe 10 or so books in it, and you know from your own room that they didn't come with the room. Your room has an empty bookshelf, so clearly these are books that were brought here. There is also a closet that looks like it's for storage. Through a door, you can see a bedroom with 2 beds in it. There's also another bed that's been dragged into this sitting room area, and you take it when Lisa said they all moved in here that they pulled in an extra bed because there weren't enough for the 3 of them. There is a desk as well in the sitting room. You see it's sort of covered in sheets of paper. It looks a bit of a mess. Some have writing on them. Some look maybe more like maps. And that is what you see.
He would like to search through the stuff, looking for anything relevant. It will be everything but the desk first.
The beds are beds. Nothing really seems particularly out of place with them. They've not been made. It seems like it's still morning. Maybe when people woke up and saw your note, they were maybe in a little bit of a hurry to come and speak to you. The bookcase, you notice that every book in it is on the subject of the occult. Every single one. In the cupboard, which you open, there are 4 black hooded robes hanging up. There's also a shelf with 2 black candles and a set of chalks in red, black, and white. There are glass bottles containing some sort of cloudy liquid and 2 small branches of birchwood. And there are 2 figurines.
He's going to take one of the books,
Okay.
one of the robes,
Okay.
one of the candles,
Okay.
some of the chalk,
Mm-hmm.
which figurine,
Okay. Some glass bottles with some cloudy liquid and
and one of those.
and 2 small branches of birchwood.
And one of those.
The desk is covered in sheets of paper with maps and notes that all seem to be about the area called the Hill and its magic powers.
And you'll take a couple of those sheets.
Okay.
He will then go downstairs. He will walk slightly past his tea-drinking friend to where there is a table next to them or behind them that is unoccupied. And he will put the figurine, he will put the chalk on top of the figurine, he will hang up the... It is a naked witch upon a horse. He will put the book open on the table. He will put the sheets of paper down. He'll put the glass bottle on there next to any condiments. He will then get a cup of coffee and sit down with a very smug face.
All right, so Elvon, what has been placed in front of you? In no particular order. A occult-looking book. A birch branch, some chalk, red, white, and black. A glass bottle with cloudy liquid inside, a black hooded robe, and a statuette of a naked woman on a horse.
Certainly witches of some sort.
I agree. They're certainly up to some things that your profession would not be approved of.
Judging by the statue, they're promiscuous witches.
Well, that was only half of it, but being in polite company, I do not know exactly what they are doing. They are looking specifically for somewhere, but these are the accessories in ritual casting.
I don't suppose them messing with things they shouldn't be caused the disappearances. There's no way they could be connected now, could they?
Absolutely none. The fact that Olga said that this mess was of their own creation is just pure speculation on her part. I am in agreement with you, sir.
Are we just going to leave this on the table until they come back?
I was indeed considering such a course of action. I think the look upon their faces after they were so sure of themselves,
I'm not opposed.
well, I'm happy about that, sir.
And after some time, they do indeed return. And as they walk back into the dining room, they do see the collection of items on the table and all stop. And again, they exchange looks amongst themselves. And then they walk over and sit back down at the table next to you.
Must apologize. I fully do not understand, as you said, the modern usage or the many new favored techniques of artists of the day. My understanding was much older. See, when I look at these things where it says occult and robes and chalk and the like, my first thing is the occult and the undead and the summoning and the ritual casting of many unnatural and unpleasant beastie, not that of a modern artist.
The youngest woman is looking actually rather nervous. The oldest woman seemed sort of out of it the entire time. And the middle-aged woman just looks at you and says, "It seems to me that what you're confused about is which key goes to your room."
No, ma'am, I didn't need a key. Something you have done, whether deliberately or inadvertently, has led to the death of Olga. You're looking for something, that much is clear. And he holds up the sheet of the maps and the notes. Either it had some form of protection, which is not uncommon on these sites, and that thing is now loose, or through your endeavors you have summoned something.
The youngest nervous-looking woman says, Well, we're not looking for anything now. I mean, Olga already found it months ago."
Well, it found her the other night.
"Well, no, that's not that that's not anything to do with what we were doing." And the oldest woman cuts her off and says, "I told you, Josephine. It does. It's Satan punishing us."
I look at the priest, because now this is definitely in his wheelhouse.
Can we cut this crap? I'm more concerned with the loss of life than whatever the hell is going on with you.
Well, they're rather intimately connected. You see, we dared to ask for things we shouldn't have, and now we are being punished. Simple as that.
We both know you're not telling the full truth.
The middle-aged woman chimes back in. "Well, what is it you want to know? Because, you see, Frida here has given you her theory that this is the opposite of divine punishment, I suppose. What's that called? Infernal punishment? Josephine wants to believe that it has nothing to do with us at all, and I simply don't know, so what can we tell you?"
Well, right now we have 2 missing people. And a dog. Well, I shouldn't say missing. One of them, your friend, if she indeed was a friend to you, is dead. The other one may be. Quite possibly. It's not exactly warm outside.
The owner of this hotel went missing before we conducted our ritual. So, unless you're suggesting we are so powerful that we can alter events before they occur, I really don't think that one's on us.
So what is it that you did, and what is it that might be here?
Well, I certainly don't know what might be here. What we did was we went and performed rituals. See, Olga found this place months ago, and she insisted that we come back. She said she'd found the perfect spot to commune, to beseech, to do our rituals, and that the energy, the power here, it's very intriguing. It's not like anywhere else I've ever been, certainly. She thought it would be more effective, and so we overreached, perhaps, asked for things we wouldn't normally. That's why Frida is so certain that we're being punished for our greed and arrogance. The ritual, well, we completed it. And it was then that a terrible beast with red eyes appeared and chased us away. But it certainly was not a summoning ritual. That is something else entirely. We were asking for, well, certainly not terrifying creatures.
I could say it was just bad luck that it found Olga, but I do not think so.
Olga wrote to her old friend asking for help. See, before she joined us, she was a part of a different group, very different. It was 20 years ago. She decided she would rather seek power rather than understanding, I suppose. And so we found our little group, and, well, in her desperation, she reached out to someone she hoped would put aside whatever differences they may now have and help.
Well, she did send help.
Wonderful. So, may we have our things back, or are you confiscating them?
He looks to the priest because this is now how he wants to handle this.
This is a very tricky scenario. I suggest you stop with the cult and unholy shenanigans.
Your suggestion is noted.
You may take your belongings back.
Why, thank you. And the younger girl, Josephine, she looks at you and says, if you're supposed to help, I don't know what you can do. I tried talking to the local priest, and the other two look at her and sort of sigh. And she says, they said not to, but I didn't know what else to do, because if it is Satan sending something to punish us, well, then maybe a priest could do something about that. I don't know, but he said he didn't know what it would be.
Well, so far, all you have told me is you summoned.
The other woman cuts back in. No, I told you, we didn't summon anything. It was not a summoning ritual.
Where exactly is this place? In daylight rather than at night, I think it would be better to examine it.
She pokes the map that you brought with you, among the other things, and says, well, you have a map right here. It's the rooting cave is what it's called, apparently. Now, we're not the first to come here and make use of it, although I understand that's rather discouraged by some in town. But it's an old place, and many have made use of it for the same reasons as us. There is power in this place. Well, not this hotel specifically, but this village, specifically on the hill.
I think we need to check this out.
I'd be careful if I were you.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be coming for you at some point, so...
Oh, I'm sure. That's why we're staying inside.
Yeah, because I'm sure a hotel could stop Satan's wrath.
It hasn't come in so far.
Okay, keep telling yourself that.
And the older woman says, I've tried to tell her it won't stop anything. We will die, but she doesn't listen.
I agree with you.
You.
And he will stand.